Yo, what is good, legends? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're doing something a little bit special. It's been a while since I've done something like this. What we're going to do is remix a classic, an absolute classic by Ollie James. This one is Cash. Most of you probably don't even know this song exists. It's a bass house song. When I went through my bass house phase, you know, gladly we're through that now and I found my identity. But yeah, one of the boys in the Discord asked how to remix a track. There was a few comments actually. I basically said, what do you want to see? And they said they want to see how to remix a song with stems. Now, in the classic signature sounds pack, for example, number 11, I used to sometimes give stems to the tracks. Nowadays, I don't think it's as relevant, you know, less people are bootlegging these kind of tracks now, so I don't put the stems in there unless it's a vocal a cappella or something. But back then, I used to put the remix stems in there for you guys to mess around with and stuff. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take these beautiful stems and we're going to make a 2022 remix. Now, it's a bass house track. When you're remixing a track, try not to do the song in the same style that the original is, right? Because there's already a track in that style. You don't have to do that. A remix is taking something and making it your own. So let's do a classic, the forgotten sound of Big Room. Let's do Big Room for this. I think it's a cool difference from the original. Before we get into that, I gotta plug some things, something quite exciting as well. First off, Patreon family, love to you guys for the support. Thank you so much. The new sample pack right now is Forever with Darren Styles and DD. So if you like your hard EDM, hard side trance, you need to grab that one. In probably a week's time, we're going to drop the new one, which is The Age of Rave, I believe, which is probably my favorite production yet. So the sample pack is going to be fire. And also, for you guys who still visit my selfie page, as you know, I used to put templates and stuff like that up on there. I have built my own website, and it will be an online store supplying you with all your rave samples. I know you guys sometimes lack a bit of inspiration, would like to just download a template, jump in, see how I EQ stuff, process things, the presets I use. So I've spent a lot of time working on a lot of products for you guys. So there's going to be like big room techno stuff, you know, rave stuff. If you like your harder EDM, you find it hard to find samples. I know this myself, so I'm trying to help you guys out, take yours tracks to the next level basically. There'll be more info on that soon. But let's jump into this finally. So here are the stems. That's the first lead. Then the track has this kind of call and response. We have this break atmosphere. We have the break bass and lead. We have the drop drums. Now, I'm going to delete these because I know I'm not going to use it. Big Room House doesn't technically use these kind of sounds. Nah, we're not about that. So we're going to remove this one. We don't need it. Now, this one, it's not in the right BPM. So first off, what we're going to do is fit to tempo of the project. This is super beginner stuff. So if you are brand new to FL Studio, what you're doing is taking this, whatever BPM it is, and stretching it to this. I've selected 130 because that's the goat for Big Room. I know that this track is 127 BPM. Any track you can Google what BPM is this song and it will tell you, right? So I know it's 127. So now what I've done is stretched it to 130 BPM. I'm going to click stretch because I find stretch preserves the transients a lot better in FL Studio. So this is what we have. For me, I always start with the drop. So what I'm going to do here, we can rearrange a little bit. I know I'm probably not going to use this. I'll probably use this drum sound as a fill. So I'll just move that. Okay. We'll just move that over there. Break atmosphere. I might not use this too much, to be honest. Vocal chops are going to be really, really important. I think with the vocal chops, we'll just do this. We'll have a big synth section here. So this is about planning stuff in your head where you want this thing to go. So we're just going to cut that, I reckon, just about here. I know this is like just one long root note, I think, for the build-up. So then we have the drop. So we've got this breakdown section. We're going to have to find a drop melody, which should be pretty easy. I kind of have something in my head. let's find the most EDM big room lead of all time. It's the Big Room Lover. This one's an absolute classic. I still use this sometimes. It's got everything you need. So we're gonna try and make our melody. Now this is going to be the drop melody, but I'm going to put it over this so that I can make sure it gels with the original. Because when you're remixing a song, try and keep the flavor of the original. You don't want to just make this like a mashup, right? Like with Ecuador, for example, all the tracks I did like that, I would always keep the melody. That's the thing people love about that. When I play that drop, if I played my own melody over the drop, the track would not have even been signed, never mind actually done pretty well. So it's important when you're remixing a song, keep as much of the original flavor. Like I'm keeping the break bass and atmosphere and stuff so you get that feeling of the original. Let's make our melody. I'm gonna try and copy the vocal a bit. Okay, I messed that up. Really messed the timing up there. Not really gelling too well over the vocal chops. Try it over the bass line now. Da, 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 da. Da, da, da. Da, 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 da. Yeah, nice EDM AF. So right now we have something which kind of is a melody. Yeah, I think that works for now. Let's see how it blends after the build-up. So after the build-up, you've got this vocal shot pre-drop. Okay, let's see how it works over the vocal chops again. It's important to try and get these things to just sound nice together. Make sure you're using similar notes. As you can see, the vocal chop goes da 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 da. So what I've done is da da da, copied that kind of rhythm. Works, in my opinion, it works. Let me know in the comments if you disagree, but I think it works pretty well. We can probably use this as like a fill, right? And in that section, we're probably going to want to bring the vocal back in. So I'm doing this super quick because I don't want to be here for 4 hours. But try and understand what I'm doing here. I'm mapping this song out in my head. I've done so many tracks that I know exactly what structures are within this sound. For a big room, it's like 30 seconds of like verse basically, then you have this synth climax, build up, drop. Part of the reason why I stopped making standard big room is because it's just so predictable, right? But you can kind of mix it up if you want, but I'm just going to take this the basic structure. So in here we're going to have the big synths, as we said. Drops looking pretty good, to be honest. Just need to find a nice fat kick and process the lead a little bit. In the synth section, let's use Nexus again, the GOAT. Let's try and get a big synth, big saw chords. Now, when you're remixing a track, it's good to have the MIDI. If you can't find the MIDI, what I do is I go on YouTube and I type in, okay, think of the song, Swedish House Mafia, Don't You Worry Child, piano tutorial, and I watch the guy playing the piano, because it comes up on the screen what notes he uses, and I just keep pausing the video and just take the notes. It takes so long, but it works. So right here we have the cash breakdown. So I'm not going to do this. What I'm going to do is duh, 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 duh. Okay, so let's just double check that again. So it kind of carries on there. Okay, so we've kind of got something going here. I think we do change the end though. It's those last three notes which go up to the G sharp. Move it up a bit because we want these to be like real big trancey chords. See how it works. See how these chords fit so well with the break bass line? It just sounds like we are remixing a song and not just like using bits in part of a mashup, you know? It's always important to keep that relation. It's something you'll just pick up over time. Now for the build up, we are going to want to take this. No. Big mistake. So the root song, the root note of this song, is the D sharp, so we're gonna want to take the end here, I guess. Yeah, that's the tricky thing about this kind of chord. The root note kind of comes in the third section. So what we're gonna do is just take one of these. I'm just gonna go full EDM, not even gonna think about it. Boom, done. Lazy AF. Oh man, this is the most standard build up ever. And then we're going to go into the drop. What we're going to do here is tease the melody, of course, like this. Now let's start doing a little bit of processing to this lead so I can actually have the feeling like it's a proper remix. Let's do the old classic. Might keep a bit of delay on here. I like that. I love a little bit of delay on a big room lead. It just takes it a little bit wider. Now we're going to go for another classic Blood Overdrive. Let's go. Now we're going to go for an EQ. Get rid of the nastiness from the two distortions. Now what we're going to do here is get a little bit, I'm just going to make it stereo by the way, I want this to be super wide, and I use this more than I use S1 Imager nowadays. Saturation push-pull, I really love this one. Now, volume-wise, we want to make sure that this is not too loud, right? How do I make sure that this drop isn't too loud for the original parts? Just drag them over the top. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. We're going to have the Arts Acoustic Reverb on here. The absolute essential. We're going to use the W&W Reverb. And we're going to use a peak controller. And we're going to link the wet signal to the peak and invert it. There's a lot of notes here, so I don't want to have the compression too heavy because you're just barely going to hear any reverb come through. So we're going to loosen the compression there so you can hear more reverb coming through. Now what we're going to do here is just filter up this synth in the build-up. We want to tease it a little bit. We're not going to have it on full because we don't want the full energy to be there in the build-up. We're just going to tease it a bit. Now we can use the effects from here as well. Nice. So before we do the sidechain, we're going to have to find a big fat EDM kick. So why not, let's jump into the brand new, already overused Kashmir Volume 4. Now it's a pretty good pack. I've found some good stuff in there. Let's look for EDM kicks, of course. Let's find a punchy kick. Need something with a nice click to it. Now we can do our sidechain, and we're just going to use kickstart for this. Probably go for the high chain because there's a lot of on the kick notes. Now we're going to do some fancy stuff here, of course we are. We're going to do some fancy stuff here. So what we're going to do is go to the modulation, go 12 up, 12 down. and then that just shows that when you link it with the pitch range, that shows we're only going to pitch down 12 or up 12. You're never going to go past that, so it's always going to like go down to the next octave kind of thing. Now we're going to do a nice little pitch down there. Let's copy that value so it comes back to the original. Not like that. In addition to this, we're going to try a little bit of gross beat, which we're going to turn on when it pitches down, and we're going to try sick gate, of course. What we're going to try to slow down, I think. And maybe the speed up will be better here. Let's turn it off for now, and we're going to automate it to only come on when that long note is playing, just to give it a little bit extra movement, just like this. We'll also try an 1/8. Okay, bring the release down. We can do some extra fancy stuff here by controlling the wet knob. This is why I like to peak control the overall dry wet, so that I can actually automate the wet level as well within. So as you can see, I'm going to look for the gaps here in the melody, and I'm just going to accentuate it with some reverb. So here is the note, and we're just going to go up to the next note, and not go too high here. And we're just going to copy this over as well. I think the kick's really nice. It's not super heavy, but it's really nice and clean. I like it. So we're going to build our sub kick now. Of course, this is big room. We need to go hard in the sub bass. Let's try a few of these kicks and just see which works the best. What I would do is just slice it so it fits perfectly. And then what I'm going to do is send it to the mixer track, and I'm going to put a sidechain on. Or a guitar rig, of course. We'll put a sidechain on and just see how it works, and we'll just go through the kicks. Actually, honestly, I'm pretty sold already. That was easy. Now I'm not going to go crazy on the EQ of this. This is just really to show you how to do it. But we are going to boost the SHIT out of the low end. Did you hear that distortion in there? That's when I'm going to pull back, you know. I try to see how much I can get away with. I'm going to take off the tops. And we're going to make it fully mono. See how much more bass you have now? So much tighter. Now, this kick we're also going to make fully mono. I want all my kick and sub to be mono, give the leads that stereo field to themselves. What we're going to do here is just give a nice little top click boost around 5k to that punch kick. Just going to make it a little bit more clicky and nice. Now, for the build-up, we can also use the same effects, just so it has that same feel throughout. Let me just save this. Now, where do we go from here? We've got the kind of the basic structure, but to make this stand out, let's try and make a fatter kick, because right now, just a sub kick, you ain't getting away with that in 2022, I'll tell you that. So let's find some cool bass shots. Oh. I think this is going to be absolutely perfect. Let's put it on the mixer track and fix it up a little bit, because right now it's not really fitting too well. We're going to go for a light sidechain. We're going to make it as mono as possible without losing that presence. Now it's got quite some nice stereo characteristics in it. We're going to EQ. See, that's the part I really like, so I'm going to boost a lot of this. That sound not so much. See how it works with our lead. Oof. Yeah, that top I'm not really a big fan of, because it's clashing with the highs of the lead. So what I'm going to do is do a nice little roll off there. Let's just find... Yeah. See if we can find any more layers. Oh. Cashmere knows exactly what he's doing here. This is perfect. Perfect for this big room sound. How bad is this going to sound though? Not too bad. Let's try it with the same processing just to save time. Might work good as a reverse there. Let's see if we can get this to gel properly. Just moving it along a bit so that the kick can just stay untouched. You don't want the transient of this one kind of clashing as well, because the sidechain isn't too heavy. But that sounded pretty nice. I could probably layer these all day, but don't be afraid to just layer sounds on top of each other, because this is going to make your kicks and your drops sound way better than everyone else and different as well. So let's find some nice claps. Main claps. Oh, I like the little saturation that has. So we're going to bring our claps in here, I would say. Proper EDM. We're going to just do the same thing with these and move them along a bit. Give that kick more space. Now to help with the transition here, we're going to try a little reverse clap. Let's kill the kick there as well. Yeah, we're just going to want to use that part. Now it wouldn't be a big room drop without some cool toms. I like this one. This is it's also in the same key as well, which helps. What we're going to do with this is I feel like this is too long. Just going to shorten the sample a bit. See how this one sounds. Yes, beautiful. EQ wise, we're going to make this a little bit more narrow as well when we're going to boost the highs in it, because we want it to really come through. It seems like a very filtered out, dark, techno-y-ish sample. Notice how I'm boosting at D sharp just to bring out the right frequencies. I've been transported back 5 years. It feels nice. So in addition to this, what we're going to have is some EDM sounds in the fills and stuff. That's just beautiful. That's just beautiful. So we're going to have this one in there. Make sure it's at the right BPM, so it doesn't seem out of sync. We're going to use this quite a lot. I'm also going to find some nice exhausts. Exhaust and white noise. There we go. Yeah, nice big one there. So, see how the drum fill sounds? So I'm wondering if I can make this sound a little bit better so it goes along with the rhythm.